everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live session. My name is Patty. I will be your yoga instructor this evening. My friend Sherman is here on the mat. Give me a thumbs up or hello. I'm not sure if the comments are on or not, but hopefully you can hear and see me this evening. I'm going to take you through a nice yoga flow tonight for an hour. We'll start out with a nice gentle warm up, then we'll get moving through some different poses. I'll offer modifications throughout when needed. If you feel a pose is too challenging or you need to take a break at any time, you're welcome to come into a comfortable seat or simply pop on down into child's pose. So I do not see any comments or anything yet that folks are saying I can't hear you or I can't see you, which is great. So we will go ahead and begin. We're going to start in child's pose. So find a comfortable spot on your mat in child's pose. Big toes come together, knees are out wide. You extend forward, forehead reaches towards the mat. Your knees are out wide, allowing space for your chest and your belly to fall to the floor. And go ahead and sink into your mat. And just come into your practice this evening. We're going to be here for a couple minutes, allowing our head and our chest and our heart to fall heavy onto the mat as we make space for ourselves this evening. We're just breathing a natural breath right now. If you practice Ujjayi breath, your ocean rhythmic breath, go ahead and take a big breath in through your nose and exhale out through your nose, creating that soothing ocean sound. Following your breath, your inhale in and let it all out. One more time through, inhale through the nose, exhale. This time, take a big breath in through your nose, fill up those lungs, and sigh it out. Letting it all out as we come to our mat tonight and focus on our practice to spend some time with our body, our mind, our hearts. One more breath in and let it all out. On the next inhale, go ahead and come on up to all fours. We're on tabletop. Just get square here a minute. Find your balance, find your comfort. Maybe move your knees in or out if they need be. Shoulders are above your wrists, knees are below your hips. We're going to take a few cat and cows. So we're going to inhale, arch our back up towards the sky, looking towards our belly button. Great big cat pose, and release as we look up, our belly sinks for cow. We're going to do 10 of these. back needs this today. Another big perch up for cat. Softening the belly. Gaze looks up for cow. One more cat. Remember to move and breathe at your pace. Following that rhythmic motion as you stretch out your spine, begin to warm up. Different feeling in your body as we've done a few of these. 2 more. Up into cat. Release for cow. Last one. And cow. Good. Go back into stillness for tabletop just for a moment. And then we're going to take child's pose one more time. So our big toes are going to come together, knees out wide. We won't be here as long, just as a minute ago. Stretch on forward. Forehead comes down to the mat. Child's pose. This may feel different already. Set your intention, what you hope to get out of tonight's practice. This would be a great opportunity to think about your time on the mat. What do you want to get out of this practice? Tuning into your body, how you're feeling in your mind. Just tune in for a minute. Go ahead and rise up to all fours, tabletop. Curl your toes under, push back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and bend your right knee just a little bit, then your left, pedaling out your legs ever so slightly. Go ahead and come back into stillness, push back through your legs. Allow your head and your shoulders to sink towards the earth. Eyes look towards your feet. Good. Go ahead and step your feet towards your hands. Forward fold. And slowly roll all the way up to our standing position. Arms in, come down by our side. We're going to begin to add some movement into our flow right now. So arms reach up overhead. Come on down to forward fold. Hands plant on the floor. Halfway lift our back to flat backs. Step back, downward facing dog. I'll take you through this series a little slow here the first time. Inch forward for high plank. We're going to lower to our knees and then bend at the elbows as we come down all the way to the ground. Rise ever so slightly for cobra. Push back now for downward facing dog. Feet step to your hands, forward fold. Rise all the way up. that a few times, so if you didn't catch it, we'll walk you through. Arms up overhead, swan dive down, forward fold. Plant your hands, halfway lift to flat back, step back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath here and out. Another breath in and out. Hinge forward to high plank in that push-up position, nice and strong. Go ahead and drop your knees as we bend down. Lower all the way down, cobra. Curl your toes under, push back, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step forward, forward fold. Rise all the way up. You'll notice I'm picking up steam a little bit here. Reach back up, arms overhead, swan dive down, forward fold. Halfway lift to flat back. Plant your hands, step back into downward facing dog. We're always going to pause here for a second for a breath, checking in before we hinge forward to plank, that high push-up position. Go ahead and drop to your knees. Lower all the way to the ground. Push up into cobra. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step your feet forward, forward fold. Rise all the way up. Good. One more time. Arms reach up overhead, swan dive down. Plant your hands on the floor. Halfway lift to flat back. Step back, downward facing dog. Remember to breathe throughout this process. Hinge forward, high plank. Drop your knees, lower all the way down to the ground. Push up ever so slightly for cobra. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step forward, forward fold. Rise all the way up. Arms come down by our sides. We're going to do some similar movements here, add a couple more poses. Arms reach up overhead, swan dive down, forward fold. Plant your hands, halfway lift, step back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and step your left foot forward, come up, warrior one. Hips are in alignment. Or excuse me, hips are squared forward. Arms are up overhead, nice and strong, using our core, reaching overhead. Now, open up, warrior two. Left leg, nice 90-degree angle. Arms are straight and strong. Flip that left palm, reach up overhead, reverse your warrior. Now come down, extended side angle. The elbow comes to the knee, shoulders are stacked. Your feet haven't moved yet. Good. Go ahead and cartwheel your arms down. Come either side of your foot, step back, downward facing dog. Take a pause here and breathe. Now, step or walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold. Rise all the way up. Good. I'll turn the other way so you can see that again. Arms reach up overhead. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands. Step back. Downward facing dog. Right leg steps through towards your hands. Left heel spins to the ground. Warrior one. Hips are facing forward. Arms are up overhead. Core is nice and strong. Strong 90-degree angle on your front leg. Good. Open up, warrior two. Arms are outstretched over both legs. Still a strong front leg. Flip your right palm, reverse your warrior. Gaze looks up towards that right palm. Now hinge at the waist, right elbow to right knee, extended side angle. Left arm is nice and bright, shoulders are stacked. Good, cartwheel your arms down. Oops, I got music coming over through me. Step back into downward facing dog. Good, look towards your hands, step or walk forward, forward fold, rise all the way up. We're going to do that one more time. So arms reach up overhead, come forward, forward fold, halfway lift to flat back, step back to your downward facing dog. Left leg steps through by your hands, rise on up, warrior one. Open up to warrior two. Left palm comes up to the sky and reverse. Left elbow comes to left knee. Extended side angle. Shoulders are stacked. Legs still remain nice and strong. Lower your hands, either side of your foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step or walk forward to your forward fold. Go ahead and rise all the way up and down. Arms reach up overhead, down to our forward fold. Halfway lift to flat back, step back, downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward, warrior one. Open up to warrior two. Right palm up to the sky. Reverse your warrior. Left arm slides down your left leg. Hinge forward at the waist. Right elbow to right knee. Extended side angle. Arms come down either side of that front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Big breath here and out. Look towards your hands. Step or walk your feet forward. Forward fold. Rise all the way up. Arms come down to our sides. Now that we are front and center, we're going to take chair. We're going to get strong in our feet. Arms are going to reach overhead. And we're going to sink down. Ankles are together, feet are together, thighs are together. We're squeezing, we're holding nice and strong, like we're going to take a seat in our imaginary chair. And now we're going to open our arms up to the right, similar to those warrior two arms, nice and extended out to the side, twisting. Arms come back to the center, nice and strong, overhead, and back to the left now, we're twisting. Opening our arms, nice and long and bright, similar to warrior two. As we twist to the left in our chair, Bring your arms back to center, still in chair, and release. Very nice. Arms reach up overhead, come on down, forward fold. Plant your hands, flat back, halfway lift, step back, downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. Another breath in and out. Hinge forward, high plank. We're going to pause here, getting strong in our high plank. We're going to drop our knees. Our left leg is going to stay on our knee. It's going to pivot to the side like a kickstand, and we're going to do a modified side plank. So our right leg is out to the side, extended nice and long. Right arm comes up. We're using that left leg as a kickstand. If you have the balance and the core strength, you can pretend there's a string lifting your right leg as it flies into the air, or leave your big toe down on the ground. Go ahead and bring your right arm back to the ground. Come back to your knees. Rise on up. Back to your high push-up. Pausing here. Lower back to your knees. This time it's the right leg's turn to stay on the ground. I'm going to pivot so you can see me. Left leg reaches out to the side. Right leg is on the ground for our modified side plank. Again, if you want a little more challenge, you can lift your left leg into the air, or your big toe can remain on the ground. Go ahead and lower your right hand or left hand down to the ground. Swing back out for a high plank. Nice and strong here. Push back, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Look towards your hands. Step or walk, forward fold. Rise all the way up. We're going to do that one more time. Arms reach up overhead. Come on down. Halfway lift to flat back. Step back, downward facing dog. Hinge forward, high plank. Pausing here. Nice flat back. Nice and strong. Drop to your knees. Left knee stays on the ground. Works as your kickstand. Left shoulder over left wrist as you rise on up for your modified side plank. Right arm is strong and straight. Shoulders are stacked. Right leg is extended long. Your big toe can remain on the ground, or you can let your leg fly in the air. Good. Lower your right hand. Step back with your right or left leg, high plank. Pausing here. Nice and strong and steady using your core. Come to your knees. Right knee stays on the ground for that kickstand. Right shoulder is stacked above the right wrist. Left shoulder is in alignment as your hand is reaching up towards the sky for your modified side plank. Left big toe can stay on the ground, or if you want a little more challenge, both balance and strength, you may lift your left leg off the ground. Good. Go ahead and lower your left hand down to the ground. Plant both hands, coming back into your high plank. Pausing for just a second as we push back, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step or walk, forward fold. Rise all the way up, reaching to the sky, and then lower your hands back down towards your side of you. Good. Arms reach up overhead, lower down, forward fold. Halfway lift to flat back. Plant your hands, downward facing dog. Go ahead and hinge forward. I push up just for a minute here. I'm going to sneak these planks in when I can. Some core work. Go ahead and lower to your knees. We're just going to take a couple cat and cows here. As we arch our backs up, look towards our belly for our cat pose. Soften the belly. Gaze looks up towards the sky for cow. One more cat. And another cow. And then we're going to find stillness back into our tabletop, hands and knees. We're going to get strong in our hands. We're going to take bird dog. So right arm extends out long, left leg kicks back, foot is flexed. And we're going to crunch in, back out to straight, and back down to your hands or tabletop. Left arm, right leg, out extended long, crunching in with control, movement, out long, back to tabletop. One more side with the right arm, left leg, nice and strong and straight. We crunch in and out. Lower back down. Left arm, right leg, opposite side, crunching in, out, down to tabletop. One more time, other side. Right arm, left leg, long and lean, crunching in, extending out, and down to tabletop. Other side. Left elbow comes to the right knee as we crunch in, extend back out, and down. Last time. Right arm, left leg, crunches in, and out, down to tabletop. Left side, right leg, crunch in, extend out, down to tabletop. We're going to pause here for just a second, squaring up into our tabletop. Go ahead and reach your right arm up to the sky. We're going to thread the needle. So this arm, right arm, is going to come in between the space of our left arm and left leg as our right shoulder lowers down. Lovely little stretch for our shoulders and our back, our side body. Go ahead and reach back up with your right arm. Come down to tabletop. And take that on the other side. Left arm stretches up to the sky. Reaches through that space that you've created between your right side body. Your right arm can walk out just a little further as you thread the needle on the other side, I should say. look towards your hands. Walk or step your feet forward, forward fold, rise all the way up. Good. Arms up overhead, down to forward fold. Halfway lift to flat back. Step back, downward facing dog. Left leg is going to lift forward for crescent lunge. Both feet have toes facing forward this time. So we still have that nice 90-degree angle on our left leg. Arms are up overhead. However, our feet almost like railroad ties here for our crescent lunge. Go ahead and lower your right heel as you straighten your left leg. Hinge forward for triangle pose. Your left hand may come down to the mat. It can rest on a block, your water bottle, or your shin as you're in your triangle pose. Go ahead and lower your right arm. Both toes face the long edges of your mat facing forward, standing wide-legged forward fold here, straddle fold. Head falls heavy between your arms. You can cradle your elbows, opposite elbows if you want. Fingertips can come to the floor. Palms can come to the floor. Remember, this is your practice. Where your body falls on the mat, you listen to your body. Go ahead and rotate your right toes towards the edge of your mat. Left foot stays the same. We're going to take triangle on the other side as we rise up. Shoulders are stacked. Heels are in alignment. Now curl your left toes under as you rotate into that crescent lunge on the right side. Really feeling it in your left hip and your left thighs. Nice strong 90-degree angle on your right leg. Maybe sinking a little bit lower if you can, deepen that stretch. Go ahead and release both toes. Come towards the wide angle of your mat. Coming back down for your straddle forward fold. Maybe take this stretch a little bit further this time. You can walk your hands in between your legs a little bit further if this is comfortable. If not, simply allow your arms to fall heavy. Cradle your head in between your elbows, grasping the opposite elbows. And just releasing here a minute. Go ahead and drop your fingertips to the mat, heel toe your feet together, forward fold, and come on all the way up to standing position. We're going to do a couple balancing movement poses here. So we're going to reach up, mountain, come down to forward fold. We're going to take standing splits. So our hands are on the ground, left leg lifts into the air, kind of like a jackknife pose here. And with control, with movement, we're going to stay on our solid right leg, really rooting down. And we're going to rise all the way up as our toes skim across the floor and come into a modified big toe stretch. So my left leg is now bent off to the side. Don't worry, we're going to do this again. If you didn't catch it, go ahead and lower your left leg down to standing. Arms come all the way up, down into forward fold. Get rooted in your left leg this time. Right leg. Listen to the air, standing splits. Really strong in your left leg. Takes a lot of core as we rise up, skimming our right toes over our mat as the right leg opens out to the side for the standing big toe stretch. The modification here. I know we've done this before, the modified big toe stretch. For those of you that have joined me, go ahead and bring your right leg back to center and down. We'll do that one more time. Balance, movement, strength, all good this evening. Arms reach up overhead, mountain, down to forward fold. Staying here, plant your hands on the ground, standing splits, left leg comes into the air. Really root into your right leg as you rise up. Left toes skim across the mat, don't touch. Bent knee out to the side. So now we're in our modified big toe stretch. If you're feeling strong and steady, as I am not, you could try the big toe stretch. Take your peace fingers around your big toe and extend it out long. Bring your knee back to center and down. Good. Shake it on out here. Arms reach up overhead. Swan dive down. Right leg. Listen to the air for our standing splits. Rise on up, using our core, using that strength to modified standing big toe stretch. I'm just spinning so you can see the placement of my hand is on the inside of my knee, or my thigh more like it. Core is strong and engaged. Left leg is strong and engaged. I use my left hand for balance out to the side, but you may put it on your hip if that's comfortable. Go ahead and bring your knee back to center and down. Good. Shake out your legs a little bit. We're going to take tree. Get nice and steady in your right leg. Left leg can be at your ankle with your big toe on the ground and your heel just above the ankle bone. It can be on your shin or in the hip crease, just not the knee. So wherever your body tells you that feels good and strong and steady, hands can come to heart center. Gaze is fixed on something straight out ahead of you, not moving, as you're in your tree pose. Arms can grow up overhead as our branches reach out long and strong. Good. Bring your arms back to heart center if they are not already, and release your left leg. Go ahead and get rooted on the left side. Again, Right leg can be near your ankle, maybe with your big toe on the ground for some stability as a kickstand, near your calf, or in your hip crease, offering resistance as your left leg pushes into your right foot. Really strong and steady. Hands come to heart center. You can grow your branches wide, stretching your arms out. Good. Focused on something not moving out in front of you to help with that balance. Keeping you strong and steady, using your core, using your legs. Arms come back to heart center. Releasing your leg. Good. Go ahead and shake it out a little bit if you need to. We're going to bring our arms up overhead, down, forward fold. Halfway lift to flat back, step back, downward facing dog. Go ahead and hinge forward, high push up. Lower your knees down to tabletop. And we're just going to swing our legs all the way through so we're on our bum. We're going to do boat pose here. So legs are going to bend. We're going to lean ever so slightly back until we feel our core engaged. We can stay here with our arms outstretched alongside of our legs. This can be boat. We can choose to grab on behind our thighs, extend our legs for boat, more of that V position, more of that core work, or you can take full boat pose, legs extended, arms extended alongside of you in that full V position, nice and strong, working our core, really strong, active, bright. Good. Go ahead and release. Come on up. Just take a breath here. We're going to do that one more time. So remember our modifications. This is boat. Arms alongside our legs. Just leaning back slightly until we feel our core engage. Grab on slightly to our thighs. Try lifting our legs out straight, or full boat. Arms are extended, legs are extended, abs are engaged, core is nice and strong. Good, steady back. Beautiful. Nice work. Good V position and release. We're just going to take a little butterfly pose here, so our legs are going to, knees are going to fall out wide, feet are going to come together. I'll turn so you can see me a little better. Releasing your back a little bit if you need to. You can lean forward ever so slightly. Go ahead and extend your legs now for a seated forward fold. Just be gracious to your back and your hamstrings. Hinging at the waist, reaching towards your feet. It's not a race to see who can stretch the farthest. Listen to your body. Good. Rise on up. We're going to come back onto our backs. Knees are going to stay bent. We're going to lower all the way down and prep for our bridge pose. So you're going to scoot your heels towards your bum. I like to press my arms into my mat a little bit and keep my hands upright, but if you like to clasp underneath, you may. But we're going to lift up into bridge. squeezing out a lot of our thighs. We're not squeezing our butts too much. This is more of thigh and, believe it or not, some core and some abs. Reach. Good. Lower back down. Pausing just for a minute here. Go ahead and take bridge one more time. Heels scoot towards your bum as you lift up. Arms. I press my triceps into the mat, but you may clasp your hands underneath if that's comfortable. Really try to lift up. Good. Go ahead and release. Bring the soles of your feet together. Knees are out wide. We're still on our backs. Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Releasing our back bodies. Just a minute here in that stretch. Go ahead and lift your knees up. Rise on up to a seat. We're going to do a little baby crisscross here as we transition into a downward facing dog. So pause a moment, however you need to come up out of that pose into downward facing dog. We'll meet here and we'll get ready to take our half pigeon. So as we're in downward facing dog, our right leg is going to lift up into the air as it steps through towards our hands and lowers down for half pigeon on the right. Now you may choose to use a block under your back bum here for your right leg. You could also use the block out front as you rest your forehead. You can stay up on tall arms if this is a little bit too intense. Or you can come down to forearms, stacking your fists. And settling in to your half pigeon on the right. Remember to breathe through this pose. I'm going to be here for a minute. And just as you're feeling you want to back out of the pose, check in with your muscles, check in with your body. See if you just need to breathe a little more deeply into those areas. And you can settle into that pose just a bit more as we're here for just a little bit longer. I know as a runner, this is a pose I love to hate, but it does my body good. But I also try to listen to my body if anything is screaming and telling me to back out. I will honor that and back out of the pose a little bit or come all the way out of it. Go ahead and come up to tall arms if you're not already. Pausing here. Planting some weight into your hands. Curl your left toes under. Step back with your right leg. Downward facing dog. Pausing here. Left leg lifts into the air. Steps forward. Half pigeon on the left. So right leg nice and straight and strong. Out towards the back side. We can put a block under our left hip if we need to. We can use that for support out front. As we hinge forward into our half pigeon, you certainly can stack your hands if your forehead does not come to the mat. Or you can just rest on your forearms if that's enough. Sometimes our heads get heavy and you might want to block. You could notice one side feels different than the other. And that's perfectly natural. Remembering to breathe through your pose. It's so easy to hold our breath when something gets difficult or challenging, but oftentimes we just take another breath in, big breath in and out, and that helps us get through just a little bit more. Go ahead and push up to tall arms if you're not already. Moving blocks out of the way if you need to. Curl your right toes under. Add a little bit of weight back into your hands as you unfurl your left leg, downward facing dog. Go ahead and take any movement you may need. This is our last down dog of the night. Really stretch out a little bit if you need to. Pedal your legs from side to side. Now we're going to come forward into rock pose. So kind of similar to child's pose, but our knees are together, our ankles are together, and our arms fall alongside our bodies. This is a nice release for our head, our neck, our shoulders, our spine, as we tuck in to a little rock pose here. If this is uncomfortable, you can take child's pose here. I find this a little bit comforting though, tucked into my rock pose. And go ahead and just spin around to sit on your bum. Legs are going to come out long in front of us. We're going to lower all the way down to our backs. Legs are going to come up straight. Nice 90-degree angle here. Legs up the wall. Arms are alongside of us on your mat. Go ahead and grab the outsides of your feet and bend your legs for happy baby. Maybe extending one leg out to the side and then the other. Go ahead and bring your legs together. Knees are still bent, nice 90-degree angle. We're going to take our right hand and come to the outside of our left knee as we drop our legs towards the right side. Gaze looks out to the left for our supine twist. Stretching out our side bodies a little bit. Giving that core a nice stretch. Good. Knees come back to center. Pausing here for just a moment. Left hand comes to the outside of the right legs. Drop down to the other side. Gaze looks out over your right arm. Twist on the other side. Balancing out our stretches on either side of the body. Go ahead and bring your knees back in together to center. Hug it all in. Nice little hug. Gently roll side to side, just massaging that low back just a tiny bit. One more hug in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way in. And release into Shavasana. Legs are out long, arms are out long. Falling into our final resting pose. Sinking into our mat as we release and settle for Shavasana. Begin to bring awareness back into your body, gently wiggling your fingers and toes. When you're ready, roll on to the right side of your body, pausing for a moment in a fetal position before you come to a comfortable seat. When you're seated, your eyes can remain closed. You may open them. Hands can come to heart center. I want to thank all of you for joining me today, this evening, to set aside time for your practice, to come to the mat another week as we practice our yoga. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste. Bye, everyone. Thank you.